Today we're going to be installing a TRD skid plate from CarTrimHome on a 2013 Toyota 4Runner Limited pre-facelift. I've seen several videos on installing this product on newer models, but I haven't seen one on this one, so I was interested on how it would go. All right, start by getting ready, getting my tools together. I just have some basic Harbor Freight tools, but that's all you need. For this install, all we're going to need are some sockets, 10, 12, and 17. I'm going to get started by removing that plastic part. That's a protective covering in front of the stock skid plate for the radiator and the front parts of the motor. Then we'll move on to the skid plate. There are four bolts holding in the stock skid plate, 12 millimeter. It can be a little tricky getting it off. You have to pull it down uh, and get it in just the right spot in order to pull it off of the vehicle because it's held on with some little hooks in the front. So these are the bolts that hold on the plastic shroud and the skid plate. You can see 12 millimeter for the skid plate, and the 7 screws are held on by 10 millimeter bolts. Now, this is the issue that I have. You may be familiar with this, a stripped bolt. So I have to fix that. On Amazon, I found this handle, tap handle. I was actually really pleased with the quality. I'll put the link in the video description for under $10, and it holds up to an M8 bolt, rather tap. It was a good deal. And then I decided to get just one tap for the M8 1.5 bolts that unfortunately that I had stripped on my stock skid plate. So here I'm just getting it ready for my first time really tapping one of the threads on this vehicle. So I'm putting some used motor oil from the last oil change just as the cutting oil. But I hear something because actually the skid plate hadn't shown up yet. It was due in today, and look who's here. FedEx. I wasn't planning on doing an unboxing, but it works out just fine. It came very well packaged and very clear what was inside. So you get your TRD lettering, the bolts, spacers, and of course the skid plate. All right, so here's a side by side of the bottom side of the skid plates. That is the steel stock skid plate on SR5 limited models. And then here's, you can see how much bigger and how much more coverage the TRD skid plate provides. And of course, this one from CarTrimHome offers the opening for oil changes. And here's the underside. Now, I don't have the original TRD skid plate, but I was curious just how thick it was. And for those who do have the original and are looking to upgrade to this because it has the opening or it's newer, I wanted to show the thickness of the aluminum. Oh, missed it. There it is. about 5.5. So I still have some questions about installation, and the instructions were helpful. But first, putting on the TRD letters. So you just remove the adhesive back. There is some adhesive promoter, they call it, that you can rub on first. Clean the area, remove the adhesive covering, and then put on the TRD badges and remove the plastic. I wasn't sure at this point which bolt holes were being used. But then after really looking at it, I figured it out. So these ones I'm indicating now, these are the stock bolt holes in the front, and those are the stock bolt holes in the back. So this new skid plate is actually going to be using these larger bolts here, and as indicated in the front, that hold on this frame support, and these two in the back. So this is actually great news. I have, and for those of you who may have stripped stock bolt holes and you have an SR5 or a limited, this actually changes the bolt holes completely. You're using different bolt holes, larger bolts. So if you are stripped, this could be a wonderful solution for that as well. So you can kind of get started fresh with new bolts and new bolt holes. So I'm removing 17 mm bolts. I was a little concerned if these supports were just going to fall out or something, but no, they stay in place. Remove the four 17 mm bolts holding in this frame support. I'm just testing it out here. And these are the holes that the new TRD skid plate from CarTrimHome will be using. I was really excited about this because this meant that I didn't have to tap any new holes or clear any out. So these spacers in the front, this is the orientation I used, the washer, spacer, and then plastic spacer that was provided. So I just thought I'd show you how not to do it first. This was not effective at all. I figured it out eventually. This did not work. I had one more idea. Maybe if I put paper towels above my foot, but that did not work either. Then I remembered I had a floor jack, so that was much better. So this is the orientation. One tip that I found right here that was very helpful is if you just go ahead and stick it in before you put it on the car and put the rubber washer on top, it holds it in place. So the bolts, the spacer, and the rubber washer will stay in place before you put it up, and that's very helpful. Okay, so now this is much better. Using a floor jack just to hold it in place. It is a bit finicky getting the spacers in the openings and then threading the bolts, but one suggestion, just do it by hand until it's in there, and then tighten them down. 17 mm. And of course, don't over tighten them. And then you just appreciate it. Appreciate your work. I went back and watched some of the other videos and realized that to make sure the TRD stays on and the adhesive really adheres, it's good to use the heat gun. Just warm it up and activate that adhesive to stick on there. I was a little bit concerned about this opening here. I may try to figure something out to still cover that up to protect that radiator from any debris, but I really enjoy the way it looks. All right. So I'll put the link as well as a discount code in the description. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. Hope your install goes as smoothly as mine.